Today, let us do an introduction to the poet named Henry Louis Vivian Derozio, who was born on 18th April in 1809 and he died on 26 December 1831. He was an English language Indian poet, a lecturer and assistant headmaster at the Hindu College of Calcutta. He invigorated a large group of students to think independently. This young Bengal group played a key role, very important role in the Bengal Renaissance. Derozio was generally considered an Anglo-Indian, being of mixed Portuguese descent, but he was fired by a patriotic spirit for his native Bengal and considered himself Indian. In his poem "To India, My Native Land," he wrote, "My country, in the days of glory past, a beauteous halo circled round thy brow, and worshipped as deity thou wast. Where is that glory? Where is that reverence now?" Unquote. While in school, he read widely on topics like the French Revolution and Robert Burns. A passionate inclination and desire for learning and superstition-free rational thinking, solid ground in history, philosophy and English literature. All these factors made him different. That later on was manifested in his writings. He quit school at the age of 14 and initially joined his father's concern in Kolkata and later shifted to Bhagalpur. Inspired by the scenic beauty of the banks of the river Ganges, he started writing poetry. Some of these were published in Dr. Grant's India Gazette. His critical review of a book by Immanuel Kant attracted the attention of the intelligentsia. In 1828, he went to Kolkata with the objective of publishing his long poem, Fakir of Jangira. On learning that a faculty position was vacant at the newly established Hindu College, he applied for it and was selected. This was the time when Hindu society in Bengal was undergoing considerable turmoil. In 1828, Raja Ram Mohan Roy established the Brahmo Samaj, which kept Hindu ideals but denied idolatry. This resulted in a backlash within Orthodox Hindu society. It is in the perspective of these changes that Derozio was appointed at Hindu College, where he helped release the ideas for social change already in the air. In May 1826, at the age of 17, he was appointed teacher in English literature and history at the new Hindu College, which had been set up recently to meet the interest in English education among Indians. He was initially a teacher in the second and third classes, later also of the fourth, but he attracted students from all classes. He interacted freely with students well beyond the class hours. His zeal for interacting with students was legendary. His brilliant lectures presented closely reasoned arguments based on his wide reading. He encouraged students to read Thomas Paine's Rights of Man and other free-thinking texts. Although Derozio himself was an atheist and had renounced Christianity, he encouraged questioning the orthodox Hindu customs and conventions on the basis of Italian Renaissance and its offshoot rationalism. He infused in his students the spirit of free expression, the yearning for knowledge, and a passion to live up to their identity, while questioning irrational religious and cultural practices. Derozio's intense zeal for teaching and his interactions with students created a sensation at Hindu College. His students came to be known as Derosians. He organized debates where ideas and social norms were freely debated. In 1828, he motivated them to form a literary and debating club called the Academic Association. In 1830, this club brought out a magazine named Parthenian. Only one issue came out. Apart from articles criticizing Hindu practices, the students wrote on women emancipation and criticized many aspects of British rule. He also encouraged students into journalism to spread these ideas into a society eager for change. In mid-1831, he helped Krishna Mohan Banerjee start an English weekly, The Inquirer, while Dakshinarajan Mukherjee and Rasik Krishna Malik began publishing a Bengali paper, The Gyaneshwar. He took great pleasure in his interactions with students, writing about them. He wrote once, "Expanding like the petals of young flowers, I watch the gentle opening of your minds." He was close in age to most of his students. Some were older than he was. The motto of the Derosians was, "He who will not reason is a bigot, he who cannot reason is a fool, and he who does not reason is a slave." So all ideas were open to challenge. Many of his inner circle of students eventually rebelled against Hindu orthodoxy and joined the Brahmo Samaj, while some like Krishna Mohan Banerjee converted to Christianity and others like Ramtanu Lahiri gave up their sacred thread. Others went on to write in Bengali, including Pyari Chand Mitra, who authored the first novel in Bengali. The radicalism of his teaching and his student group caused an intense backlash against him. Due to his unorthodox views on society, culture, religion, the Hindu-dominated management committee of the college, under the chairmanship of Radhakant Deb, expelled him as a faculty member for having materially injured students' morals and introduced some strange system, the tendency of which was destruction to their moral character and to the peace in the society. This was the allegation against Derozio when he was expelled. Though facing poverty, he continued his interaction with his students. Indeed, he was able to do more, helping them bring out several newspapers and so on. However, at the end of the year, he contracted cholera, which was fatal at the time, and died on 26 December 1831 at the age of 22. Being a Christian apostate, he was denied burial inside South Park Street Cemetery. Instead, he was buried just outside it on the road. Now let us talk about his writing. Derozio idolized Byron, modeling many of his poems in the romantic vein. Much of his poetry reflects native